How's it going, guys? Aaron over here, bringing you another video from the perspective of a 14-year WoW refugee that's transitioning to the better Final Fantasy XIV. I was playing Final Fantasy, as I do with most of my gaming time nowadays, and I started to notice, as I was in combat leveling a new job, that the combat was feeling a lot slower than I remember. It dawned on me that the global cooldown was a second slower than it was in WoW. As you can imagine, this really slows down the combat speed, making what you do more impactful. After I realized exactly what was going on, I thought about other things that are similar to WoW, but change up the formula that you're generally used to. Even if you're not coming from WoW, but just want to get into Final Fantasy Online, this advice will probably still be useful to you. Don't forget, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It helps me out a ton to get my videos out there and get noticed. And without further ado, let's get into the things you need to know when you come from WoW to Final Fantasy Online, or are just starting Final Fantasy Online. I've mentioned it already, but the global cooldown and combat in general really is a change you just have to get used to. For those who don't know what a global cooldown, or GC, is, allow me to explain. Every time you activate an ability, that ability will activate doing the action. You then have to wait for the duration of the GC before you can use another ability. In World of Warcraft, that GC is 1.5 seconds. In Final Fantasy, it's 2.5 seconds. 1 second doesn't actually seem like a lot, but it's a 66% increase on wait time before you can do another damaging attack. However, Final Fantasy does something that WoW doesn't really do, and that's having more abilities that are not tied to the GC. For example, as an archer/bard, you have an ability called Bloodletter. Bloodletter is a hard-hitting ability with a 15-second cooldown, but you can use it every 15 seconds, even in conjunction with your biggest damage dealer, Heavy Shot. As you can see in the video, I use an attack and everything goes grayed out with a white line going around signifying the GC. But I can still use Bloodletter. So with more abilities being not tied to the GC, it's all about balancing your cooldown abilities with your abilities that use the GC to maximize your rotations. Speaking of maximizing rotations, another aspect of combat that you'll have to learn is the combos. Final Fantasy has many combo attacks. They even have a job that is solely based on activating these combos to maximize DPS. Combo attacks are easy to understand, but very difficult to master. A combo attack is when you use an ability, then after that ability finishes, one or more attacks will get this reticle around them on your action bar. If you use said action after the combo starter, it'll have different effects, ranging from increased potency to leaving a dot on your target. The samurai lives and dies by the combo rule, with needing to perform 3 different combos to unleash his most powerful attack. Honestly, it is one of the most rewarding systems I've ever dealt with, and I love it. It leaves classes feeling like they are unique and really give you class identity. Gone are the days of WoW where spellcasters feel the same. Every melee class feels the same. Every ranged feels the same. You have to have your class figured out and mastered to do maximum DPS, and not all classes are created equal because of this system. Combat is just a blast, and it'll instantly rope you in. Now I've spoken what's different with combat, and all the challenges you'll face coming into Final Fantasy from WoW. Something that I think you'll find even harder to grasp is questing and leveling in general. If you're already a Final Fantasy fan, wanting the Final Fantasy experience of a story and dungeons, you're going to be right at home. However, if you're a WoW person and you want to attack questing and leveling the same way, well, we're not in Azeroth anymore, and that way of questing will for sure burn you out. I'm not saying that the side quests are boring by any means, but coming from WoW, where you generally pick up 3 to 5 quests in an area, where those 3 to 5 quests take you to the same relative area, Final Fantasy throws that out the window, to be honest. For starters, the main story quest, or MSQ for short, you'll see that on a lot of videos and streams, has you traveling everywhere across the world. You'll be going to the 3 main areas dozens of times in your quest for the crystals. It's insane. It would be like you had to travel from Stormwind to Darnassus, then to Ironforge, then back to Darnassus, then back to Ironforge, back to Darnassus, to finish up in Stormwind. It's just a lot of traveling back and forth. However, another big thing that speeds up Final Fantasy and makes it more player-friendly without completely ruining the experience is the locations of the Aethernet crystals. Basically, this game's version of the flight points. These giant crystals are travel points across the maps. You can teleport to any of them at any time, whenever you want, but with 2 stipulations. First, and arguably the most important one, you have to attune yourself to them. So, just like the flight points in WoW, you must first make the trek to wherever you need to go, find the crystal, and attune yourself to it, so that you can travel to it later. And the second one, just like in the flight points, it costs gil, this game's currency. With just like the flight points in WoW, the farther away you are, the more it costs to fly there. I know I've already said that they're basically the flight points of WoW, but there's one big difference. These are instant ports and can be used from anywhere on the map. So you don't need to travel to find a crystal to teleport to a crystal. If you're in a bad spot, you can essentially hearth at any moment, for a fee of course. With them being instant, it just speeds up the game, letting you actually experience more of the story in a smaller amount of time, which is perfect for someone like me who only has about 15 hours a week to play. Over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aranova, maybe you should come check me out. We definitely have some of the best Final Fantasy content on the internet, I'll tell you that, and I'm always looking for more people to play with. I play on the Malboro server. Why don't you come join me? Something else that I feel will throw you for a loop is the job system. Gone are the days of having more than one character to fulfill each and every class. You're no longer required to have 12 characters performing different roles, not sharing progress towards achievements or certain quests. No longer do you need to worry about leveling an ult because you'll fall behind on character progression or quest lines. You're free to have your one character and progress constantly with them, all while leveling up your different jobs and classes. I decided to begin my journey as an archer. For those from WoW, you know that hunters have the easiest time leveling because of pets and being ranged. So I decided to try an easier class to level up my first character. I was mostly right, in that archer was an easy class to level up until level 30, when something I didn't expect to happen. I got a quest to get something called a job stone. A job stone essentially lets you evolve your class. You retain all of your class, i.e. archer abilities, but gain a bunch of upgrades from your job, in this case, the bard. After level 30, your class gains a whole new range of abilities that drastically changes the rotation and the way you play your character. Instead of just activating damaging abilities and hitting them with dots, I am now using songs that I've learned from doing my bard quests to empower myself and all my allies to increase damage potency, increase haste, or defend against strong knockbacks. I've essentially turned into a support class that does some damage. So far, I've only progressed my archer far enough to get the job stone, but I can imagine that every base class, after getting these job stones, are drastically changed up. But now you might be asking, but Nova, what do I do when I need to change my job or my class? And that's easy, me. You just change your weapon. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to talk to anyone, you don't have to do anything. You just have to go and change your weapon to that job. Of course, there is a prerequisite. You need to go to that said guild. There are different guilds in different cities, so you have to travel among those to learn that job. Also, something really nice, after like level 5 or a specific quest in the main story quest, you gain the ability to go to any of the guilds and just join. It doesn't cost money, it doesn't really take time. You just get a weapon, they train you to do it, and then there you go. You can level it up how you want. Something that takes a little bit to get used to, though, is I have a level 50 bard, and now I want to become a conjurer. But when I change my weapon to a conjurer's weapon, Suddenly I'm level 1. I am now a weak level 1, and I have to completely re-level my character. It's just like having an alt, except I don't have to experience the story again. That takes hours, mind you. I can level through dungeons, I can do all the side quests that I neglected to do because I wanted to do the story quests. The sky's the limit when it comes to re-leveling on that character. The fact that when you come from WoW and you're able to have one character do everything, you are the true jack of all trades, you are progressed, you have all these mats, you have everything on one character, it makes it so that that character you get to really relate to. Gone are the days of mains. Gone are the days of having to do different progression. You're able to just play your character and know that you're not falling behind for any reason, and you're able to just have fun. It's amazing. I love it. And all right, I've spoken on a few things that I really think were the most pressing changes that you have to get used to when coming to Final Fantasy XIV. I have a lot more I could talk about, and if this video does well, I'll make a follow-up video and stuff that I think needs to be seen and heard from the people who are switching over, and to give that advice to newer people. Just through my 30-ish hours of gameplay, coming from WoW, I've had a lot of things I've had to learn and adjust to. I think Final Fantasy has earned its spot as #1 MMO just because of the innovation it's made to the MMO genre as a whole, along with keeping exactly true to how Final Fantasy is. It's a full-fledged Final Fantasy game, just with real-life party members. It doesn't get better than this. So remember, if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to keep posted on everything Final Fantasy XIV related, and make sure to follow me on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Aranova, where I play Final Fantasy XIV 3 days a week. Links and schedule in the description below. I look forward to seeing you in Eorzea, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until next time, bye.